Where does true attractiveness come from? In a world full of noise and rush, many believe that attractiveness comes from looks, wealth, or status. But the Stoics disagreed. To them, real attractiveness is an energy, something that radiates from within. Not your face, not your clothes, but your presence, your values, your self-mastery. Today, we explore 7 timeless Stoic habits that make you effortlessly magnetic without faking, without trying to impress, just by being fully you. 1. Listen like a Stoic. The most attractive person in the room isn't always the one speaking, it's the one who truly listens. In a world where everyone is desperate to be heard, real listening becomes rare and powerful. The Stoics saw listening not just as a skill, but a practice of presence. Listen not to reply, but to understand. Look into someone's eyes, not to judge, but to witness. When you fully listen, you silently say, I'm here, with you, right now, and that is magnetic. 4. Expect nothing, appreciate everything. The more I expect, the more I suffer. Expect someone to call, and they don't, you feel hurt. Expect the job to come through, and it falls apart. You feel lost. But if you remove expectation, you remove disappointment. This doesn't mean you stop hoping. It means you stop depending. It means you stop believing that things have to go your way for you to feel okay. The Stoic way is to receive life as it is, not as you hoped it would be. It's not about being cold or detached. It's about being grounded, grateful, and at peace. I found that when I stop demanding things from the world, I start seeing its gifts more clearly. A quiet morning, a genuine smile, a small win, they all start to feel like miracles. When I expect less, I appreciate more. And in that appreciation, I find peace. 5. Everything, even pain, is temporary. Storms come, storms go. That's the rhythm of life. Whatever pain you're feeling now, it won't last. Whatever joy you're feeling now, it won't either. And that's not a reason to despair. That's a reason to live fully. There were days I thought the pain would never end, but it did. And in its place, I found understanding, even gratitude, because it taught me how to cherish what's good and let go of what hurts. The Stoics practiced detachment, not because they didn't care, but because they cared deeply. They knew everything is borrowed, moments, people, even time itself. So I try not to cling, not to resist. I breathe through the highs and the lows, knowing both will pass. Life flows. And when I flow with it, I suffer less.
Lesson 7. Real revenge is moving forward without looking back. Some things happen in life that leave you speechless. Why did they betray you? Why did you have to suffer even when you gave your best? At some point you probably thought, I'll show them I'm not to be messed with. You may have dreamed of the day they'd regret everything, but then you realize that changes nothing. The most powerful revenge isn't making them suffer. It's moving on. It's living so well, so fully, that you no longer need them, no longer think about them, no longer carry them in your mind. You're not running from the past. You're just refusing to be chained to it. You don't need to answer that last message. You don't need to win that last argument. You don't need them to feel sorry for what they did. You simply move forward quietly, calmly, and completely free. Stoicism teaches us true maturity is when you no longer need to prove anything. They may have hurt you, but they can't stop you from building a life you're proud of unless you let them. So stand up, live, and leave everything that no longer deserves you. behind. The most noble revenge is walking so far ahead, you no longer feel the need to look back.
5. Choose integrity over approval. There's something deeply magnetic about a person who stands for something. Not loud, not arrogant, just quietly certain about what they believe and how they choose to live. The Stoics had a rule: do what's right, not what's popular. And that's harder than it sounds, because approval feels good. Likes, applause, validation, they're tempting, but they're also fleeting. One day, you're praised, the next, forgotten. That's why the Stoic doesn't chase approval, they chase alignment. They ask, does this match my values? Is this true to who I am? Would I still choose this if no one ever knew? Because integrity means doing the right thing, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's misunderstood, even when you stand alone and there's power in that silence. You don't have to impress anyone. You don't have to wear a mask. You just have to look in the mirror and know you were honest, you were kind, you were strong on your own terms. In a world of imitation, be the one who is real. That's rare. That's unforgettable. That's Stoic. 6. Grow, don't chase perfection. Perfection is an illusion, a moving target, an unreachable mountain, a mask we wear, hoping it will make us lovable, respected, enough. But the Stoics saw it differently. They didn't try to be flawless. They tried to be better, day by day, moment by moment. Mistakes, they weren't failures, they were teachers. Every setback was a lesson. Every flaw, an invitation to grow. Because real strength isn't in never falling. It's in rising, quietly, humbly, again and again. Growth is honest, messy, imperfect, but it's real, and that's what people feel drawn to. Not the perfect image, but the honest journey. When you choose growth over perfection, you give yourself permission to be human. You stop hiding, you stop pretending, you start evolving, and something beautiful happens. You begin to inspire others, not by what you've achieved, but by how you keep going. No grand announcements, no need to impress, just silent, steady progress. That's what makes you magnetic, not because you're there yet, but because you're on the path, open, humble, becoming. So forget perfection. It's not real anyway. Choose growth and let your journey be what draws the world in. 7. Live deep, not fast. We live in a world that worships speed, faster replies, faster results, faster success. But in the rush to get somewhere, we often forget to be here. The Stoics taught us something different, something quieter, something deeper. Don't chase, choose. Don't run toward everything. Walk with intention. Pause, breathe, think before you speak, feel before you act, understand before you judge, reflect. Depth isn't loud. It doesn't demand attention. It simply is. And in a world obsessed with trends, someone who lives with depth becomes unforgettable. Not because they try to stand out, but because they're fully present. Present in the moment, present with their values, present with themselves. They don't need the spotlight. They bring light into the space they're in. Their words carry weight. Their silence brings calm. Their choices feel grounded. This is true attraction. Not quick, not flashy, but enduring. So slow down, not because you're behind, but because you're building something real. Live deeply, live fully, live like it matters because it does. And when you do, people won't just remember your name, they'll remember how they felt in your presence. That is the mark of someone who lives with depth. You become the attraction. You don't chase attraction, you become it. Attractiveness is the result, not the goal, of living deeply, speaking wisely, standing firmly, and showing up fully. You don't have to try to impress anyone. You just have to become so grounded, so authentic, so centered, that your presence speaks for itself. And when that happens, you won't just attract others, you'll attract the best version of yourself.